back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and this is the match rating for the Leeds Everton game that finished 1-1. I'll just be going through the Everton side, giving my thoughts, feelings, ratings on the players. Without further ado, let's get into it because we've got 11, and only 11 because we didn't use any subs to do. Which, I mean, now that I'm doing the ratings individually, I'm quite glad. But yeah, let's start number one, Jordan Pickford. I think he did all right. I think he did all right. I mean, he was unlucky for the Sinistera goal. The body shape looked like he was going to beat him and go to the other side, and he's just snuck it in there. It's unlucky. He made 4 saves. XG faced was like 0.88, so you could argue a little bit, the stat would say they should have done a little bit better maybe, but one of them, isn't it? I think he did all right, Pickford. Gotta be careful of the time wasting though and stuff. Just because apparently the Premier League is strict on it this season, and I think the ref had already told him off at one point. But one of them, the goal was really, really tough. It's just one of those. The XG for it was 0.02. It was a bit far out. It's just tricked everybody, not just Jordan Pickford. It's tricked the lads in front of him as well. So I'd give Jordan Pickford. I'd try not to half numbers and do decimals. I'd give him a 6.8. I will do decimals because it makes it a little bit easier. Give him a 6.8. He wasn't quite a 7, but he certainly wasn't a 6. 6.8 is fair enough. Next, we've got Vitalii Mykolenko. Again, another player that I think did okay. Very, very tough. The Leeds have got a lot of good players. And he had to look after that Sinistera and that Christiansen as well, who looked like he looked mental. Made 5 clearances, Mykolenko, 4 interceptions. No key passes or crosses, but to be fair, when we're playing with a number 9 and we're playing with Gray, McNeil or Gordon up front, we don't really want him to be crossing the balls in because there's no header. There's no one there who's going to win the big headers. We have one shot, it was blocked. But yeah, I think he did all right. He was dribbled past, I think it was only once, and I think against Sinistera. I'd probably give him 6.8 as well for Mykolenko. Moving on, we have James Tarkowski. I really like Tarkowski. I think he's a good player. I think he looks a very, very level-headed player. It's something we at Everton need and have needed for a while, a level-headed centre-back. And he gets in people's heads as well. He's a bit like Yerry Mina. He's a bit narky. He'll give it to players as well. He won't just take it lying down. He made 4 clearances, 2 interceptions, 1 tackle. Wasn't dribbled past. Won all of his ground rules and all of his aerial. Couple of long balls as well. 8 of them, only 3 of them accurate, but he had a 78% pass accuracy. He played really well, Tarkowski. And I think, like I said, he's a bit narky. He's at players. He's in their heads. Football is psychological as much as it's physical. I'd probably give Tarkowski a 7. Moving on, we have Conor Coady. Interesting to see how Conor Coady played with all of these rumours. He can't play in a back 4. He can't play in a back 4. He's got to be in a 5 or a 3. I think he did that badly in a 2. Not compared to what you were hearing people make out. I thought when I saw it, oh God, all I've heard is that he can't play in a 2 centre mid in a 4. He's going to be calamity here, but he wasn't. He made 5 clearances, 2 interceptions, won one of his 3 ground rules, but 2 of his aerial rules. Fouled once. He only made 2 actual fouls. I think he had an all right game. I think he's probably 6.7 for Conor Coady. Next we have Patterson, who I think, in my opinion, probably was man of the match. Possibly, I know he's BT's as well. I think it was between him and Iwobi for me, or maybe even Gordon. But Patterson played really well. Should have had a goal. Really should have had a goal. Should have scored his chance. Had 9 clearances, 2 interceptions, 8 tackles. He dribbled past once. That was the one where he recovered it well and managed to get a slide tackle back in. Won 9 of his 14 at ground rules, 1-on-1 for his aerial. He did lose possession 20 times, but he's covering a lot of ground. Looking at his heat map here, it's all down that right-hand side and that right edge of the box. Had a really, really good chance, a big chance missed. Like I said in the initial match reaction video, that if that's Seamus Prime for Coleman, that's a goal. Really unlucky that he didn't score, but really impressive from Patterson. I'm going to give him a 7.3. I'm going to give Patterson like a 7. No, just a 7. A 7 will do. A 7 will do for him. Same as Tarkowski. No, actually, no, 7.4 because Tarkowski got a 7. And I think he did perform a little bit better than Tarkowski. Next, we have Tom Davies. Played all right, to be honest. I know he gets some sticks sometimes. I actually thought Davies played all right, level-headed enough. I think he was a bit gassed by the hour mark and probably could have done with coming off. But clearly, you know, Lampard doesn't trust what we've got there on the bench enough. Made 20 accurate passes out of 24, so an 83% pass accuracy. 1 shot off target, won 3 of his 5 ground rules. Lost possession only 5 times, 2 clearances, 3 tackles, was only dribbled past once. It's a bit of a, I don't know, like through the motions game for him a little bit. I think at one point he made 5 passes into the final third. I think at one point you could tell he was just a bit tired. I'm going to give Davis a 6. Yeah, like a 6.3 maybe. Next we have Onana, who I think is fastly becoming a fan favourite. And I think Onana played okay. Obviously, there's the rumours that he's match fitness. I'm surprised he played the full 90 after hearing rumours that he said in the last game against Brentford that he needed to come off because he didn't have a full 90 in him. Had 1 shot as well, really unlucky not to be a goal. He has to react quickly to that ball because it bounces right in front of him. He takes a touch, then hits it. Christensen's head blocks it. I think the XG for that was a decent one. Yeah, it was 0.51. It's blocked, but I don't think if it's blocked, I think that might be a goal. Had a 57% pass accuracy, which is a bit, it could be a bit better that in all honesty. Chance missed, but he, 44 touches, 6 passes into the final third, 100% tackles won, 1 block, 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, 6 recoveries, was only dribbled past twice. And this game was a very heavy midfield game, guys. Leeds everywhere. I don't know what formation Leeds were playing. Obviously, it says 4-2-3-1, but like they were everywhere. Leeds. It was the midfield. It was a real midfield battle. This game. He did okay. I think the best is yet to come from him, but early signs, I'm quite impressed with Onana. Then we have Alex Iwobi, who is very much becoming a fan favourite. He was everywhere. He was up in the front, down in the back, defending. His heat map for the game is blood everywhere. Really impressed me, Alex Iwobi. An assist, really good ball to Gordon, really nice. Him and Gordon link up quite well together. 67% pass accuracy, created 1 chance, 40 touches, only successfully dribbled once. This is in the final third 3. This is the one where it's like impressive. He made like 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, 4 interceptions, 4 recoveries. He was just everywhere. The amount of distance he covered was really impressive for me. I quite like Alex Iwobi, and especially in this new role. I'm going to give Alex Iwobi a 7. I think he was really impressive. I think I gave Patterson like a 7.3. I give Iwobi like 7.1, I think. So, yeah, really good from him. Next, we have Dwight McNeil. I'm going to be honest, guys. It has had the time of it so far. But he had 1 shot. It wasn't going in. It was quite a while off. 81% pass accuracy, 47 touches, 40% of his dribbles were successful, 50% of his accurate crosses. He was only dispossessed once, made 1 clearance, 2 interceptions, 5 recoveries. It was only dribbled past twice. I like him. I think the best is yet to come from him. I think once we've got somebody he can aim for, it'll be a bit better. I don't think he's an inside. I don't think he's an inverted winger or an inside forward. I think we need to play him on that left-hand side. and just leave him on the left-hand side. No sticking him on the right at all to get his cross across. His link up as well. You can see why Rondon's not playing, and you can see why Neil Moipai was bought. At first, when I saw it, I was like, he doesn't fit what Everton have been looking for, because we've been linked with that Stuttgart lad who's 6'8". Then we were linked with somebody else who's quite tall, and I was like, he doesn't really fit that bill of a Calvert-Lewin-esque, stature. But what he does do is he pass and moves very well. And when you watch Dwight McNeil, Anthony Gordon, and Demarai Gray, they all move, pass and move, intertwined, sort of really well. So I was quite impressed with that. And I think Moipai just fit better. I think ball at the feet, pass and move, he'll do well. For Dwight McNeil, I'm going to give him a 6.8. I thought he played all right. Now we have Demarai Gray, who scored with chalked offside. It was marginally offside. I think it was his arm. Personally, don't like that. Don't agree with it. I don't know how it's. I think they need to look at the rules for that, because I don't think his arm gives him an advantage, gives the attacker an advantage. I think his feet do, but if your arm's not just on an offside position, I don't think that does give you the advantage. So it was a bit tough that for Demarai Gray. And it was a nice finish as well. He had 82% pass accuracy, 0.04 XG. Like I said, the one offside doesn't count, it was offside. Only one successful dribble out of 3, one pass into the final third. I think before that goal, I think he was struggling a little bit. He's not a striker. This is the only thing with Demarai Gray. And when we played McNeil there, I think he looked poor there. And I think even Anthony Gordon looked poor there. Not strikers. We need a striker who's used to playing with his back to goal and stuff, like Moipai, who pass and move and run. These aren't strikers, guys. So it's a bit tough to judge them on that. But I think Demarai Gray was unlucky not to get a goal, in all honesty. I'm going to give Demarai Gray a 6.5, 6.6. I think he was really unlucky not to get a goal. And then finally, we have the man of the transfer window. I'll say it, the man that's got a lot of people talking, Anthony Gordon. He got a goal, 2-2, I think it is now. That Chelsea link's done him the world of good. Yeah, really, really good goal. That was his only shot, but he scored it. Nice left foot. And an XG of 0.19, so he's done well to finish it on his weaker foot as well. Created 2 chances as well. 100% shot accuracy, because it was the only shot he had. 0 successful dribbles out of 6 attempts, which is a little bit worrying, but that's something we know we get from him anyway. He sometimes try a little bit too hard. 100% tackles won, 2 clearances, 8 recoveries. Played really well. Good finish. Really calm, collected. I think it's a bit tough. Yeah, it's a bit tough. I think he played well. I don't think he leaves either. While we're on about him, I don't think he leaves now. I think it's too late in the day, and I don't think the club want to risk that. But yeah, I thought it was a good finish by him on his left foot, and he was up for it as well. Him and that Christiansen had an interesting battle going down that left-hand side constantly, which led to them eventually both picking up a yellow card, because they were like 2 stags bucking heads, weren't they? You need to be a little bit careful about putting your heads together. I've seen players get sent off for it before now, and it literally is just putting heads together, which personally thinks is a bit soft, but that's the way that, put your heads together, you run the risk. Yeah, Gordon, I think he played well. I think he was one of the ones who was one of our better players. He created that chance for Patterson that should have scored, really. So he could have been a goal and an assist for Gordon. I'm going to give Gordon again a 7.3, 7.4. I think he played really well. And hopefully he'll stay. I think it's a weird situation now where 60 million is too good to be true. And I would suggest, I'm not going to bottle what I said. I'd say sell him for that. But if we don't and we keep him, that's also a plus. If we don't lose, because if we sell him, we're selling him for money that I think is a bit over, a bit too much. But if we keep him, we keep a player we all like and a very good player. So it's a win-win either way. But that's the ratings for the Leeds Everton game. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts, feelings, and ratings on the Leeds Everton game. I look forward to reading them. I'll see you soon.